Perhaps the most broadly recognized framework for understanding cultural difference, and perhaps the one that is the most based on social research and quantitative data gathered internationally, is Geert Hofstede's Six Dimensions of Culture, which he's written about with his son, and with Minkov, we're recently adding the sixth dimension of culture. Let's take a look at these. Hofstede defines most of his categories as being either high or low, with some defined dyads that are quite familiar to us. The dyads we recognize are the individualism collectivism dyad and the time orientation dyad, which is more of a triad, not unlike Kluckhohn and Strobeck's approach. We also have the power distance dyad with high power distance and low power distance characterized by relationships that are distant and hierarchical or close and flat. Many languages, such as Korean and Russian, have markers of formal address that marks social distance in those cultures and what are therefore high power distance cultures. Whereas English and Portuguese is more of a low power distance language and cultures with a flatter, more egalitarian cultural value system. If you watch Brazilian soccer, for example, the first names are on the backs of the Brazilian jerseys, very informally. In the masculinity-femininity dyad, Hofstede and friends essentialize certain masculine traits to some cultures and certain feminine traits to other cultures. This division, to some degree, reflects a paternalistic or maternalistic lineal value system. We'll address this more specifically when we see the Project Globe treatment of gender egalitarianism, and so we'll gloss over this here. Also note that this category is the toughest for my millennial and Gen Z students. Later, Hofstede, and Minkov in 2010 added the indulgence restraint dyad, which is a group's approach to resistance, variation, and their variation on tolerated behaviors. The toleration is higher for indulgence and lower for restraint. And this is a general approach to the group's behavioral values. I have saved uncertainty avoidance, high or low, for last, as this is the first time we've seen this in these presentations. This is the way a group embraces uncertainty and ambiguity, whether they prefer to avoid it or to embrace it. This high or low uncertainty avoidance determines a lot about how that group solves problems. Also, here is an echo of something we've seen previously from Schwartz and Kluckhohn and Strobeck along the lines of the mastery harmony dyad or dimension. As I said, Hofstede, and Minkov's six cultural dimensions list is perhaps the most commonly recognized among interculturalists in the US, and knowing these is important for anyone planning on advancing in the field of intercultural competence. While I use these videos as presentations for the courses I teach on intercultural competence, they are also freely available for anyone to watch. So please feel free to like or subscribe to the channel as you see fit. Also share it. Your feedback is valuable to me to make sure that things are clear. And of course, may you find the peace that you are looking for.